This is Hannibal here from thehannibaltv.com. I just finished watching the Matt Borne Dark Side of the Ring. By the way, the one that I'm in is July the 25th. And Tom Pritchard, who was in the Matt Borne Dark Side of the Ring episode, is going to be doing a podcast right here on the Hannibal TV Live at 9:05 p.m. tonight. They basically talked about him growing up with his father, Tough Tony Borne, grew up in a wrestling family, was very protective of the business, had a lot of drug issues, did the Doink the Clown character, which they described as a scary character for kids. I was a kid during the Doink the Clown era. He was definitely a heel, but I'm not sure if any kids were actually afraid of him. There's no question he was the best version of Doink. There was so many other Doinks, from Sir Mo to Ray Apollo, Steve Lombardi, Steve Kern, who's doing an interview on this channel with Jack Kilby tonight. But by far, Matt Borne was the best. He was released, I guess, due to his drug problems, which he had for a long time. I heard him in a RF Video Shoot interview where he was talking about him and Piper used to ride together in Portland and be doing cocaine and stuff like that. So his years of drug use started a long time before he actually died, which he died in his 50s due to an overdose, which his daughter in this is claiming may have been saying that his girlfriend at the time, who's also in this, the daughter is alleging that the girlfriend may have had a role in the death. Both of his ex-wives were also in this. Brian Blair's in this. By the way, Brian Blair's also in. There's a compilation video of wrestlers talking about Matt Borne on my channel that I put the link to in the description. Brian Blair in this, I do believe that they had a fight in Mid-South. But Brian Blair claims that he bit off Matt Borne's lip. And Blair is known to tell some tall tales. But bit his lip off during this fight and spit it out. And you can clearly see that Matt Borne had his lip going forward. So I think we could rack that up to the same way that people say Haku ripped out Jimmy Jack Funk's eye. Which clearly Jimmy Jack Funk still has an eye, but sometimes these fights get very exaggerated. Jim Duggan in here is talking about the heat that they had, which Jim also talked about in an interview with me. Mick Foley's in it, talking about his relationship with Matt Borne, and Foley brings up that for someone to have heat with Jim Duggan, you'd have to really be a unique character. Well, Austin actually has heat with Jim Duggan. And Duggan even mentions that in my shoot interview. So, I mean, I personally love Jim Duggan and think he's a really nice guy. But in wrestling, if you're in competition with someone like Borne and Duggan would have been in, I can see how there would be heat, and there was stuff from their younger days in Mid-South that led to their independent wrestling confrontation in later years. I agree, Mike. Matt Borne should be in the Hall of Fame. If nothing else, he was in the first WrestleMania, the first match at the first WrestleMania against Ricky Steamboat, who, I don't know if it was the first match, but one of the first. He was definitely in the first WrestleMania. Because I remember the first time that I realized who Matt Borne was, because in those days I didn't know about the dirt sheets, but as a kid there was like a weekly wrestling column in the newspaper that told some behind the scenes stuff, and they mentioned it was Matt Borne. And then I remember renting WrestleMania 1 and rewatching it, just looking to see what Doink really looked like. And then I later found out he was also Big Josh from WCW. But anyways, a good episode. They're all pretty sad this year. for sure. But this one, there was a lot of people. I mean, in wrestling, not bashing dead people is definitely something that doesn't happen. This one's definitely people taking a lot of shots at dead people. But again, tonight at 9 p.m., Tom Pritchard will be talking about Doink. I never met Doink like out of character. I saw him live many times as the original Doink. He seemed to wrestle Crush for most of the matches that I saw him live with. I saw him live wrestle Crush at least 2 or 3 times. But yeah, he was definitely a good wrestler. I recently watched a match of him and Bob Backlund where he displayed great technical ability. Mike, I'm doing great. So we'll see what the next episode is, and I wish everyone a good afternoon. I'm going to work out.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video